Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Hi, colleague.
How are you?
I am good. Standing.
Most important thing.
Most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Current situation.
How are you guys doing at home? Yeah, I hear you.
Who are you asking?
The people listening.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear them answering back?
What did they say?
That you get better.
Oh, guys, it's tough. It really is tough. It's just like scary from... Anyway, we said we're not talking about it today.
Yeah, no, but we can. So South Africa said that they're locking off the place, shut down 21 days. I think the UK has been big on social distancing. But guys, we're no longer joking. It's not Coco V. It is Miss Coronavirus.
I keep thinking about this video I saw online with I think it's like a South Africans at a pool party.
Hey, I saw it. Corona. I saw it.
How many people have been diagnosed?
It's not funny no more.
502 people have it. Or is it 520?
It's not funny no more. But we say that, you know what, we know that you guys are, the coronavirus news is everywhere. There's a lot of fear, anxiety. We don't have the answers. We hope you guys are practicing social distancing and taking whatever safe, measures guys. You have been advised to take, washing hands and, just boosting your systems and all that stuff.
Boosting systems.
What?
I'm asking, how do you boost systems?
No, I'm not about to give...
Oh, okay. Anyways, what's happening in the politics?
Before we start, for people, in case we've got new listeners, welcome to Girl Guys podcast with me, Natasha.
And Claudine.
And I sometimes go by Nat.
Sometimes go by Michelle.
Yes, Michelle. Okay, so on the politics, just quickly, I wanted to talk about just the year 2020 and what the election calendar looks like and the impact of coronavirus. So Guinea had a referendum this past Sunday, which actually went ahead. So they were voting on a number of things. And one of the things that was on the referendum was a potential to extend the president's term limit. And that went ahead. But there's concerns around the fact that, some international observers couldn't be there because of the advice that their countries are giving them around, travel, coronavirus and the like. It's quite contentious and, how are you going to count it, with all these things. Obviously, Guinea is still... I'm not sure where they are in terms of dealing with the pandemic. But there's been calls to kind of this should become null and void. But the governing party is saying, no, this should go ahead. So that's Guinea. That's that. But it was just making me think about 2020 and what that means for the for the calendar, because there's quite a few elections that are planned. So the Dominican Republic is supposed to be voting their general election in May. Will that go ahead? I don't know. Mexico, they're supposed to be local elections in June. St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean, elections in August. Of course, we know the United States in November. And Belize, I believe, they've got their parliamentary elections in 2020. So some of the latter ones, yeah. But then it's just will elections be the same? Will people still... because it's totally against social distancing. We don't know how this whole thing,
so many
how
unknowns.
long it is going to last. There's just so many questions that kind of, it came up. So I just wanted to, I don't have the answers, but I think it's just one to watch because it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, the last we voted on, what was it, Brexit? Here in the UK.
Was it? I don't remember,
Yeah.
It was ages ago.
When was... No, general election, December.
Was it December?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So how would that work? That totally wouldn't work now.
It wouldn't. It's just literally, I guess there's a lot of speculations. We could speculate until the cows come home.
And the conspiracy theorists are having a field day. Some interesting stuff out there.
Like what?
No.
Okay.
So it's our feed. whatever, accused of spreading fake news.
Spreading rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, that's good. So today we want to talk about what do we talk about today?
Yeah, so we said no corona talk. So
No relationship talk.
but we can't help it. But we've been challenged, so that's what we're going to try and do. Somebody said, no, you guys, when you talk about relationships, we end up getting into trouble with the missus asking like, yo, is this true? Like, is this how you move? So anyway, so today, so we asked a question on our Instagram and also on our Twitter, just about topics that you would like us to to talk about in future episodes. And one of the topics, one of the suggestions was around talking about transitioning from high school to university.
Yeah.
Right. And actually somebody then commented and was like, oh, that's a great topic idea. And actually, can you also talk about transitioning from university to working life? So I was just thinking that, considering the year 2020 is, and we know that schools are closed across most countries, the academic, calendar is just all up in the air. There's probably a lot of concern amongst, young people, amongst their parents, just about what that year looks like. We definitely don't have the answers about, what that means. Because there's been talk, I know in the UK, there's been talk about, if you were supposed to take your GCSE and A-level, they'll come up with an alternative way of saying, you would have got an A or you got a B. And there's issues with that. But I think we'll sort of come back to that, because I was sort of thinking that, I don't know about you, like your results are important, right? And again, I'm not minimizing, because I can only imagine, like, because I've got my nieces are supposed to be writing their GCSEs
this year.
Yeah, this year. Actually, I haven't spoken to them. I need to kind of find out how they're feeling and how they're taking this. So I can imagine that they're a bit anxious about it, and imagine like their parents are too. But in hindsight, I'm sort of thinking that actually your results are important.
Yeah.
But if for any reason the set of results that you're allocated aren't what you think you would have got, because some people actually do better under pressure when they study. I know I'm one of those people. But I think what I would say is, again, I'm not an education specialist, but this is a very peculiar year, 2020. So you probably can get away with explaining like 2020. Like if ever you're not happy with
your results,
to say, actually, I was on course to perform better. So again, this is just my lay point of view. So I would want to allay those fears on those people that, listen, in 5-10 years time, it won't be that important. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. There's nothing that we can do about it. I think there's so many things that are already out with our control. We are kind of, we're already where we are. If they said that they're going to calculate your grades according to this, that's what they're going to do. And you're right. There are some people who study last minute and then get better grades, and it's really unfortunate. And I hope that as time progresses, that this generation will be that generation that's known for which what, these guys, they actually this happened to them, and this affected them in such a way, affected them university wise, it affects the rest of your life basically. So while I think yes, it's important the university you go to, but because competition is so rife already, I think there's a lot of people or students who are probably not going to get the full benefit or potential of the stuff that they could have, the work they could have put through. And it's unfortunate. There's a lot of things that we're going to turn around and be like, oh, what, that's unfortunate in the next years to come.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You're right. And I think the positive, if there's ever a positive, is again, this is a global thing, right? So even if you are in Zimbabwe and you wanted to go to university in South Africa or you wanted to go to university in the UK or in Cyprus or wherever, the whole world understands, right? So I think what I would say is if you're a young person, you know, and at that age where you're supposed to be going on to uni or you're a parent of that person, you can allay those fears saying you're not on your own. Literally, the whole global world understands, right?
It's different though, because, you know, the global world will understand when you're in UK, but when you're in Zimbabwe, it's a different story altogether. Do you know what I mean? People who have paid for their Cambridge examinations, if you think about the money that has been put into that, you know, it's different. It's obviously globally where you are based is the impact is going to be different.
Yeah.
You know, for the guys here, they'll be able to pat them on the back. Oh, you know, you tried. And here we are. But for someone in Zim, like, I think it's I don't know how to say it, because it's not like I'm saying that the kids here, their whole life doesn't depend on it. But for someone,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So again, the personal cost and everything. But I think I was really talking about the grading. But again, I don't even know if this would apply in Zim, because I can imagine Zim will try and go ahead with tests, but I don't know. And then it kind of got me thinking about so we've talked about the context of 2020. So taking a step away from that and just pretending like everything was normal. Just that move from being in like high school to uni. You know, I've got strong thoughts about like, you know, what's important. What are your thoughts about if you were advising like a young person, like what are the things how should they prepare from, you know, from that being at school?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think in an ideal world, someone would take some time out before getting straight into university from high school. I think apprenticeships are a good idea to actually help you decide that this is what you want to do. I think that, you know, especially coming from a place like, you know, like home where the professions, you ask a 10-year-old, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's either a pilot, a lawyer, or what's the third one, or a doctor. And, you know, that is kind of ingrained in us in a way that in order to be successful, these are the three choices or the three careers that one should, you know, be in, basically. But I think that taking time out, getting to know yourself, and, you know, you're not going to do that from high school into university. I think it's good to take some time out, travel the world, come back, do an apprentice. You know, if you've decided that this is what you want to do an apprenticeship, learn more about the trades. So I think that's what I would suggest. I think don't just rush straight into it. Do something that you're passionate about. Do something that you enjoy. And I think there is an element as well, again, where depending where you're at, where you need to enroll in a good university.
Yeah, no, I like the point that you made about taking a break. So I was thinking about this, and so my thought is, so for a young person going to university, the honest truth is I would really try and urge like parents, like whoever, like older people around, and it's so hard because we're so busy, but you know, talking about this time now where a lot of people maybe are at home or whatever, maybe this is the time to really take time and just like sit down with your young person and really try and help them. Because if you think about it, a lot of the big decisions that we have to make, like when you're like 16, 17, 18, you're so young. But like the decision is on you. And whereas maybe if you're talking about, say, immigrants, right? Say migrants who are in the UK, and maybe your parents are a bit older, they don't really know the system, they don't know how the UCAS system works, so they let the young person just get on with it. So for me, my top tip is always, if you're looking to go to university, do try and go to a better university, the best university. And particularly, I can only talk about the UK context because that is the system that I know. I will be honest with you, people who get ahead went to the good schools. They went to your Cambridge, they went to your Oxford, they went to your Imperial, they went to your London School of Economics, UCL, King's College,
SOAS.
all the Russell group of schools. Even if you go there and your degrees in hashtags, honestly,
you will do well.
You will do well. And the thing about university is, I think it's kind of, I don't know, it teaches you critical thinking, critical analysis of any subject area. The people that I work with, a lot of them studied English, history, like arts, but in those good schools. And you can just tell that their confidence level is just, on another level. And it kind of takes me back to the point that I was saying about that. From that 15 to 18, that there really needs to be, I don't even want to say parental oversight, like whoever can help. Like if you're the parent, like there are some people who are really passionate about these things, right? Try and get them to be a mentor of your young person so that they help them, because it's so difficult for the young person to make that decision themselves. Another thing that I'll say is, where possible, like, young people should make use of like work experience. Meaning, like the places where I've worked, like over summer, like they do a lot of like summer work experiences, and where like you'll find, and it's a lot of the kids of, these like Hamakiwa, they'll come and they do 2 weeks in the office or whatever, right? Doing little things here and there. What that does, right? It just makes you aware of the environment, of like different corporate environment, just how you carry yourself, just how people talk, just not being intimidated by these big grand buildings. That does a lot to a young person. But because some of us, maybe like, I'll talk about migrants, like maybe we don't know that those things are there.
Available,
They're actually there. Like even sometimes now, because there's a big push on diversity and inclusion, whatever, there are actually some schemes that are targeted to like, Black and ethnic minority people. So I would say, like, if there's an opportunity for a young person to do work experience, they can do it like in a number of companies, 2 weeks here and there, 2 weeks here and there. And a lot of them will pay like their expenses.
Yeah.
Right? Because for me, I know that if I had done work experience, I think I would have been so certain that I never want to work in an office. I would have known.
Yeah.
So that would have really steered like what I want to study.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, for us, for me, I guess when I left Zim and I came here, it was more like nursing was already like on the plate. So there was no time to be exploring what I was passionate about. And don't get me wrong, like I'm in it now and I get a lot of job satisfaction with what I do. So I think overall I ended up in a role or in a position that I am actually quite, I enjoy, I am quite happy to be in. If things had been different for me, I think, I don't know what would have given, because I can't imagine. I've done this for a very long time now and it's just literally so ingrained in me. I can't imagine even doing something else.
Yeah, it means you must like really enjoy it and get satisfaction from it, because like you could have moved on to do something else.
Correct. Yeah. So I know people who've started off and they're like, oh no, it's not for me.
Yeah.
But I've seen people who will come and they do, some like, people who do a work experience in healthcare are always people who are, it's like medicine. So they come to check out what it's like to be a doctor. Nurses, I can't, honestly, it's people who are already in it already. They're coming in as students and then they come in on placement. So that's what we kind of see. But yeah, I think it's definitely a good idea to kind of try something out before you actually venture into it, because your perception and reality can be something completely different. So you step into it and you're like, okay, I want to go into marketing, get in marketing and it's just like, it's hectic, hateful, hectic.
Bruh, like for me, if I look at like my career, like I studied, so I studied banking and finance, right? That was the degree that I did. But if I look at what drove me to do that, is because my aunt in Zim, like she used to work at a bank, like at NMB, and I used to think like she was the coolest person to me. Like she was like there with her company car, you know, doing like whatever personal banking. So for me, that like that image, I was like boss chick.
That's
right?
what you wanted to do,
and that's what I wanted. But I mean, I never really, with that degree, it was okay. But I don't think even when I worked in financial services, it wasn't because of the degree, which takes me back to the good university. So, you know, that was a drive. And then interestingly for me, my journey is like when I came here, right? I, because we're still on like a visa, if I were to go to university, I would have paid international fees, right? And at the time, my mom was just like, yo, like I can, but I can't. Like, because it was like $8,000. I don't even know what international fees is now. Right. What?
Depending on what you want to study.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Rah.
Yeah.
That is, so for me, you know what I did? I waited 3 years until I started. In hindsight, do I care? No. But those 3 years were the longest. Because imagine, I've finished and I had really good A-level results. And I'm there and I'm speaking to all my friends who went to SA. They all started at UCT, Wits. And I'm there like, oh my God. Because I started working, my first job was at McDonald's. I'm like people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working. Where are you working? McDonald's. And they're like, oh, we're at Wits. We're studying engineering. And I'm like, and I felt so bad, right? And during those 3 years, like I went to college and studied marketing, like at Hammersmith College. And then I was working, like from there, I worked at like John Lewis and whatever. Then I went to Barclays, whatever. But in hindsight, I'm like, man, I should have maximized that time even more to do all those like work experience and really explore what I wanted to do. But I was just so fixated on starting uni that I didn't. It's
just that peer pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, that I didn't really like make the So I think what I would say, like, to a young person, if you don't know, or if like to a parent, like if you don't know and you don't have it figured out, it's fine. Like time is, you'd rather take your time and start different things than it's fine. Like time
it's difficult
is
to say that to a young person. You know, I see it like with Utamara, and that all her friends are in university just now. They are all, you know, studying, and she's got, you know, she went to a relatively, you know, good school, so her network is people who are in universities in Canada, in Edinburgh, in Portsmouth, in, you know, so these people are also in relatively good studying good degrees from in good universities. So I can see her, like, the pressure is on Uti, you know what? Oh, I need to be. I'm like, no. You don't need to be in anything.
You don't.
You can just chill. You can, you know. Unfortunately, now we've got all this going on. But I was like, travel the world. You know. don't go backpacking, but go out.
Let me tell you, it's the best time to do all of that because I didn't do it. So guys, like even if you're listening and you're that person, you don't have a clue, or my child wants to do this and I can't, hit me up. Honestly, I'm always more than happy to share that experience. Because now I don't even think about it. It's not like when I go for jobs, they're like, oh, you started uni when you were 20.
No
and
one
not
asked
when
that.
no one asked that.
And I went to uni a lot. How old was I? I was in my 20s when I went to university.
Yeah.
And I tried to make up for the traveling. I did travel quite a bit, when I first got my job, when I got my first job. But those are things that, me, it was like my first experience of traveling. Yet people I was traveling with had already done so much more traveling, and you already have that experience. They're used to different cultures, and you're just there, that is your second time being on an aeroplane going.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think there's something beautiful about learning about a different culture when you're at that age and meeting people your age group, when you don't really care too much about, well, I suppose, we cared about where you're staying and stuff. But, this I think it's just a beautiful thing. And for me, I think that is one thing that is an absolute must. I think people should travel as best as you can. It doesn't necessarily need to be, Asia. I think Africa is a beautiful place as well. You can travel there, just literally explore places, and also just to get that independence. Or till you go somewhere and you're like, oh, open a map. And you're like, okay, or you open a map, but you use your phone and just like, okay, I'm getting from here to here. Learning how to look after yourself, how you're safe in different environments. Like, what do you do with your passport if you're staying in a, in a hostel?
Yeah.
Don't stay in hostels, guys. No, stay in hostels. It's cheap. But yeah, so little things like that. I think that's important.
No. I think that's important. And then pivoting to transitioning from uni to work, proper work. So someone was asking about that. I think what I would say is, again, having work experience is really important because work culture is not something you learn at school. Right? Work culture is completely different. I know for you guys, at least you do placements. Yeah. So that helps, Andrew.
Yeah, it does. I think, from the time that you're in your first year, you get to know you work with women who are, and men who have got issues at home, and they'll bring those issues to work. There'll be people who don't get on with each other, but they have to work together.
Yeah.
You are just literally, it's a minefield. And you learn to be assertive, I suppose. You learn that you have a voice, but that's something that takes time.
It does
as well.
It does. So I think you've covered it. My top tips, from transitioning from uni to work, again, is just learning that work culture. And if you haven't had that work experience, it's fine. You will learn it, but you just have to know that there's a culture that's very different. Confidence. I cannot overstate confidence. Confidence is a premium. People just get ahead because of confidence.
Yeah.
That is you will learn that people
just talk the talk.
They just talk the talk and they just blag their way. You just have to have that confidence. The thing about confidence is, if you're confident, people will look at you and be like, why are you confident? There's something that this person doesn't know. So maybe we'll believe them. And then there's another thing that I will say probably recently.
But wait, there's also an element. You don't just be confident to kulmamanyala. You need to be confident knowing what you are saying. Yes. I think that's also important. So don't just open your mouth and klabalala, but just, maybe I found that I have grown in confidence by learning. So the more that I know, the more I can state facts. I'm like, okay, no, I know this for a fact, so that I'm able to stand up to somebody. I'm able to challenge somebody and say, oh, no, I have read this, or I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
So let's So what you're saying is wrong, and you can ground what you're saying with facts.
No,
I
you're
think
right.
that's important.
The more you know. And another thing about confidence is being able to say, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? But you know what? Here, they're oh my God. I know we don't have much time, but there are all these like ways that people say something. Like, you know, like in the office, they'll be like, if someone doesn't know something, like instead of saying, I don't know in a meeting, they'll be like, let me take that away. Let me take that away and get back to you. Like, you know, there are all these little like...
Yeah, but it's nice,
like,
you know.
no,
I don't know, but I'll find out for you.
But sometimes they don't say I don't know. They'll be like, oh, that's an interesting question. Let me take that away. Let me take that away and I'll get back to you. Let's take this offline. That's my favorite one. Let's take this thing.
Meanwhile, we are in lockdown.
Yeah.
We're in lockdown.
What?
We're in lockdown.
What, has that been a thing?
Yeah.
An announcement?
Yeah. Stay home or face a fine.
What?
Yep.
Oh my God, do you remember when you were saying that and I was like, no way.
Yeah. Yeah. Just last
Can
week.
you pull it up? Like, what are they saying?
So basically, lockdown.
So this is Boris has announced.
Stunned millions of Britons with a momentous and tough lockdown announcement to tackle coronavirus. Stay home or face a fine. No meeting friends. One form of exercise a day will be allowed. Wow.
Raw. Okay. We better wrap this episode up.
Shopping for basic necessities as infrequently as possible. Traveling to and from work, but only where this is absolutely necessary and cannot be done from home. You should not be meeting friends. You should say no. Wow, guys. Washuba. Guys, all weddings, all everything. Anyway.
Guys, wow, I'm stressed.
This will go down in history.
And
it'll be on our podcast.
We'll be moving on to a new age. But anyway, to close that up, hey guys.
Guys.
Anyway, to close, can you see that we are going through
difficult times?
But anyway, to wrap that up, guys, if you have any question about uni and stuff, I may regret this, but I'm offering my time. Email us on mygirlandskies@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And I will try as best I can. I am still working from home, but if I get like periods that are not as busy, please email me. Just if you have any questions, especially about the uni and the work thing. Let
us know. I'm happy to help too.
Yeah,
where I can.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anyway, guys, it's been good. It has been good.